Hi guys, I'm back with another video that's gonna be posted today. Yeah, I'm filming and posting it on the same day. Ambitious of me, I know. I'm going to be filming a book haul from the books that I've gotten from January till now. For reference, it is April 23rd, and this is quite a big book haul. So yeah, disclaimer, I do have a ring light because the lighting in here is quite bad. So I'm gonna try and just look like this so that the ring light is not in my glasses, but it's gonna be popping in and out. I just want to let you guys know that. If it bothers you, I can't do anything about it, and I'm sorry. But yeah, let's get into this book haul because we have quite a bit to go through today. First two things are not book related, at all, but well, in my opinion, they're book related because I'm going to be using them for book things, but they're not really book related. The first thing is this jar. I already have a TBR jar, so you guys are probably like, why do you have this? It's because I am going to be using this to put the names of every book that I haven't read that I have in here, and then whenever I feel like I don't want to make a decision about what book I want to read, I'm gonna pick one out of here. So that's why I have this, and it's a cute little jar, and it matches my other one. My other one has a ball, and this one just has this. It's like the same thing. It's cute and it matches, and that's why I bought it. Next, I also have this blanket. This was on Larry's storefront, her Amazon storefront, and I was like, it's so cute, so I have to buy it. So blame Larry for me buying this blanket, even though I already have 4. I don't need any more, but I felt like I needed this one, so I bought it. And now we're gonna get into the actual books because we have quite a bit, guys. Quite the haul for you guys today. So let me show you. I'm gonna start with series first, and then kind of just go in with all the other ones. I'll tell you a little bit about them if I know anything about them. If I don't, I'm not gonna say anything about this because this is gonna be a long video on its own, and we don't need to make it any longer. So the first 3 books are the Dreamland Billionaire series by Lauren Asher. What I know about this series is it's basically these guys, these 3 brothers, they have they own an amusement park. It's kind of like a Disney World. I've never been to Disneyland or Disney World or any of those, so I don't know. And basically I don't know if their grandfather or whoever leaves them a fortune or something, leaves them something. In order to get it, they have to do this task, and each book is about a different brother. So we have the fine print, terms and conditions, and the final offer. So yeah, next 6 books are the Shatter Me series by Tahira Mafi. Basically this is about Juliet. Her touch is deadly. She has a deadly touch, and she ends up I think that's all we know in the first book. She has a deadly touch, and the government is trying to use her as a weapon, and she ends up fighting back. That's all I know because I haven't read this. So we have Shatter Me, we have Unravel Me, Ignite Me, Defy Me, and Imagine Me. So as you can see, I don't have the novellas. I probably will end up getting them because I just feel like I have an incomplete series if I don't have them, but I don't know. We'll see. Oh, this is book 4, Restore Me. I thought I was missing one. Then the next series that everyone and their mother knows about, literally, if you don't know about this series, these are not in order, by the way, so don't come at me, is the Magnolia Parks universe. So Magnolia Parks is basically a bunch of, it's like rich people drama. I love rich people drama. We know that because we know one of my favorite books is not Magnolia Parks. We know one of my favorite books is Malibu Rising, which is rich people drama. So I have these, and it's basically they're high up in the London place, and it's rich people drama, and you can't really go wrong with rich people drama. I love it. And it also includes a toxic relationship, miscommunication, which I hate, but maybe I won't hate it in this book. So we have Magnolia Parks, and we're following, in this book, we're following Magnolia Parks and BJ Valentine, I think. And then we have the second book, which is Daisy Hayes, and we're following Daisy and Christian, I think. Yeah, Daisy and Christian. We have Magnolia Parks A Long Way Home, which is the second, and then Magnolia Parks, part of this universe. Then we have Daisy Hates the Great Undoing, which is Daisy Hates the second book. And then the most recent book that came out is Magnolia Parks Into the Dark, which is the last book to the Magnolia Parks books. So yeah, you want to know what I hate about these though? I'm not even gonna lie, all of these books are like glossy covers, and this one's like a matte. That bothers me, but you can only do so much, right? Next we have another series that I'm currently reading, and it is the Mistborn trilogy by Brandon Sanderson. I am like 200 pages into the first book. Not gonna lie, I've been reading this book for like almost a month, but that's because I've been in a book slump. So we have Mistborn, you're following Vin and Kelsier. And yeah, I don't really want to say much about this because this book, you kind of learn things as you go, and if I tell you things, you're gonna get spoiled, and I don't want to do that. But I really like this. Brandon Sanderson's writing is so easy to read, so when I do feel in the mood to read, his writing is really easy for me to read. So yeah, this is the first book, Mistborn, or it could be called The Final Empire. It really depends on what edition you have. Mine is Mistborn. Second book is The Well of Ascension, and then the third book is The Hero of Ages, and this is the original trilogy. They do have like a second trilogy, kind of like the Mortal Instruments a little bit, which is the next series that I'm going to show you. But yeah, there's that. Next we have the Mortal, or I guess we should say the Shadowhunters universe, just because I have all of the books. Yeah. Okay, let me try and get them all in. So here's the first book, City of Bones. Read this book, love this book, read it. You're following Clary. You're following Clary, who basically figures out that she's a shadow hunter. She was born and raised as a mundane, a normal person, and then something happens and she figures out she's a shadow hunter, and you're basically following her in this story and her trying to navigate all of this because this is all very new to her, and she's like 16 years old. This is all new, so you're following her in this book trying to figure everything out. And the next book is, these are not in order, oh my gosh, it's gonna be quite difficult. City of Ashes, which I've also read. Not gonna tell you anything about because I would spoil the first book, and I ain't doing that. Then we have City of Glass, which is the third book. City of Fallen Angels, the fourth book. City of Lost Souls, and City of Heavenly Fire. So those are the Mortal Instruments series. And I also have the Shadowhunters Codex, which came with all of these, which I think you could read after the Mortal Instruments series, I think. Don't quote me on that either. Then we have this is not even the first book, the Infernal Devices series by Cassandra Clare, which is also a part of the Shadowhunters universe. So yeah, look, I love how the spines all line up. This is the only series that I can hold all together in one hand, which is why I'm showing you the spines of these ones. So we have Clockwork Angel, Clockwork Prince, and Clockwork Princess. Next, we have Mixed Signals and In the Weeds by B.K. Borison. I got Love Light Farms back in November, and read that in December, and then I got these in I want to say February, maybe January, February. I read In the Weeds, loved it, gave it a 5 stars, It was so good. And then Mixed Signals I have yet to read, which I plan on reading pretty soon. But that depends on if my TBR lets me choose this book, because as we know, I don't choose my TBR. My TBR jar chooses my TBR. So we'll be reading these at some point. And then Business Casual comes out sometime this year, which I will be getting. So yes, those. Then we have The Kiss Quotient and The Heart Principle by Helen Huang. So I read The Bride Test in, when was that? I think it was maybe August. No, maybe it was July. I read it a while ago and loved it. Surprisingly, I like that so much, and I wasn't expecting it to like it as much as I did, because I've had that book since like 2020. Yeah, I had that book before I moved to Texas. And I moved to Texas in 2022. And I really liked it. So I decided to get the last two. This one I found at Half Price Books. It was only like $8. And it's in such good condition too. Like such good condition. So I got this one. And then I got The Kiss Quotient from Target, which is not in such good condition. Target needs to give me a new one. But anyway, yeah. So yeah. And these basically follow like characters that have some type of, okay, this is wrapped on my finger. These basically follow characters that have some type of disability trying to find love, who have trouble finding love, and then they try and get some, like, I don't know, some way, some equation, some solution to finding love. And yeah, that's what these books are about. And I think they all follow people, like the main male characters are all related somehow, something like that. Like I know he is the brother, the main character, and here is the brother of the main character of The Bride Test. So yeah, we then have a plethora of Stephen King books. It's not a plethora, it's 3. So I have 3 Stephen King books. I have Cujo by Stephen King, 1922, and Carrie. So this is how you know I'm in a book slump. I've been reading this book since the beginning of April, and the book only has 128 pages, no, 129 pages, and I've been stuck on page 75. That's actually so embarrassing. That's so embarrassing that I can't get through this book. I'm gonna finish this book tonight because that's so embarrassing. So yeah, I have 1922 by Stephen King. This follows a man who owns 80 acres of farmland with his wife Arlette, and she ends up getting another 100 acres from her father who has passed away, and she wants to sell it, but James wants it because he's a farmer, so he wants it. And instead of like coming to some conclusion, he kills her. Yeah, so there's that. It's very gruesome, very much so. You kind of you hear about everything, as Stephen King does. He is the king of horror. So there you go. Then I also have Carrie by Stephen King. I've watched Carrie, but I've never read Carrie. So now I have it to read. And I also really like this edition, so I'm excited. Then we also have, and this is about like this high school girl. Yeah, it's about this high school girl. She can move things with like her mind, and she gets picked on. And yeah. Then next we have Cujo by Stephen King, which is about this dog who ends up going a little crazy because he ends up becoming sick, and the sickness, it messes with his mind and he goes crazy. And I'm really excited to read this, even though I'm a dog lover. I don't think it's gonna make me hate dogs. Nothing can make me hate dogs. So yeah, those are the Stephen King books that I got. And now we're kind of just going into like random books, like just books that I have bought. So first we have 16 and Pregnant by Lala Thomas. This book, I don't even know where I heard of this book, but I saw this book. I love the show Teen Mom. I do. It's not influencing me in any way. I just enjoy to watch the show, okay? It's a lot of drama and I like it, okay? And so I saw this book and I was like, oh, okay. So I read the sample and ended up liking it enough to buy it. So I have it. 16 and pregnant. And it's basically following this girl who is 16. She gets pregnant and she decides to keep it. So yeah, even though her mama does not want her to keep it. And then we have Better Than the Movies by Lynn Painter. I have not read a Lynn Painter book. This is the only Lynn Painter book that I own. And I've heard such good things about it. It's like 2000s rom-com, I think. And I am not gonna lie to you guys. All the people that are comparing these to like certain rom-coms, I have not watched any of them. I'm not really a rom-com girly. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not a rom-com girly. So maybe I'll have to watch some rom-coms before I read this. We'll see. But I think we're following Liz, and it's like fake dating. They're fake dating because she wants to get with this guy, and this guy that she doesn't like, who lives next door to her, I think, is the only way for her to like get to him, I guess. I don't know. There's this. And then they fake date, and then you know what happens when people fake date. You know what happens. You know what happens. Then we have the 7 Year Slip by Ashley Posted, which I got the same day I got Better Than the Movies. And the 7 Year Slip, I've also heard, like, I don't think I've heard one bad thing about this book. And that is saying a lot. Like, not one bad thing about this book. Not one. Not one. So yeah, we have this, and basically this is about this girl. She gets this house from her aunt. It's passed down to her, this apartment, and every time she walks into the apartment, she's then transported 7 years in the past. And there's this man that lives there, and I'm guessing they have a little romance. I'm guessing. I don't know. But yeah, the 7 Year Slip. Ashley Posted. Now we have a bunch. Not a bunch, it's only four Adam Silvera books, because if you guys know, you know Adam Silvera is one of my favorite authors. We all know this. We are aware. So I have 4 of his books. We have 2 that he co-wrote. We have, What If It's Us and Here's to Us. What If It's Us and Here's to Us are a series. I'm sure you guys could have gotten that information on your own. I'm sure you guys could have thought of that. But we're following author and Ben. Ben, I think Ben just got out of a relationship, and he was going to the post office to drop off his ex-boyfriend's things, and he was like, he's never gonna believe in love. The universe is not messing with him. It doesn't have his back. And then author is in New York for the summer for some Broadway thing, and then they end up running into each other at the post office. And yeah, that's what that is. It's a boy love. That sounds so weird to say if I'm not talking about a show. That sounds so weird to say. It is a LGBTQ plus romance between the 2 boys on this cover. So yeah. And I love Adam Silvera's writing, so I think I'm really gonna like this. I've never read Becky Albertalli's writing, but maybe I will like it. I hope I do. Next book I have is History Is All You Left Me by Adam Silvera. This book is sad. All of his books are sad, but this book seems really sad. Basically, this guy was Griffin. We're following Griffin. Griffin's first love and his ex-boyfriend Theo has passed away, and now he's trying to cope with the death of his ex-boyfriend and first love, and the only person that he can like talk to is Jackson, who was seeing Griffin, who started seeing Theo, Griffin's ex-boyfriend, before he died. So that's the only person he can talk to about this. And yeah, we're just basically following him in the story, trying to cope with the death of someone that he truly loved. So sad. Then we have we have More Happy Than Not by Adam Silvera. This book I read the first chapter of, and this is gonna be a heavy hitter. This is, whew, oh goodness, this is gonna be hard. It's gonna be sad. It's gonna be sad, and I'm gonna cry. Basically, we're following, what's his name, Aaron Soto, and his dad just died by his own hand. I don't want to say the word. I don't know if that is a trigger for anyone, but his dad just died, and he's trying to cope with that, with the support of his girlfriend and his mom. But he ends up he meets this kid Thomas and ends up having feelings for Thomas, and they have this thing in this world where you can go and erase your memories, and he wants to do that because he wants to get rid of these feelings that he's having for Thomas. He does not want it, and yeah, it causes some conflict between him and Thomas, him and his friends, him and his girlfriend. And yeah, we're basically following him in here. It's a lot of heavy topics in this book, as there is in a lot of Adam Silvera books, but they just feel so real. The characters feel so real. Everything feels so real in Adam Silvera's books, and that is why he's my favorite author. So yeah, next we have books from another one of my favorite authors, and his name is Frederick Bachman. I have 3 books. These are the only books that I was missing from all of his fiction books that I was missing from him. I'm still missing one book, things I told my son, things I need to tell my son, something like that. It's a nonfiction book, and I still haven't decided if I'm gonna get it or not. We'll see. But these were the only 3 I was missing out of his nonfiction books. So we have Britt Marie was here, which we meet Britt Marie, and my grandma asked me to tell you she's sorry. She's like kind of like the, what do you call it? She kind of like runs the apartment. She doesn't run the apartment, but she thinks she's in charge of the apartment. So we know her. We know her. And reading about her in that book made me think like, oh, I need her story, because why is she acting like this? Why is she like this? So yeah, this is Britt Marie. We're just following Britt Marie and why she is the way she is, and I'm intrigued. Then we have The Deal of a Lifetime by Frederick Bachman. This is a novella. It's really short, and this book I think I'm just gonna pick up whenever I need something quick. Not something quick and easy, because his books are not easy. If I can say one thing about Frederick Bachman books, they're going to make you cry. So yeah, if I ever need something quick, I'll read this. And then also, and every morning the way home gets longer and longer. I've seen so many people cry to this book. So many people cry to this book, and I'm just like, I cry enough as it is. I don't need to be crying more. But I probably will, because I am going to read this. I am going to read this, and I am going to cry. But yeah, those are the last 3 that I needed to complete my Frederick Bachman collection. And I'm so excited for him to come out with more books, because I need more. Next 2 books out of the stack is Out on a Limb by Hannah Bonham Young. This is the most healthy relationship I've seen in a romance book ever. So healthy. If you want to know my thoughts on this book, go watch my book wrap up, because I talked about this book and everybody should read this. But basically, we're following this girl named Wynn and this guy named Bo. They had a one-night stand, and she ends up becoming pregnant, and Bo's like, well, I need to step up, as he should, and he does. And then we follow their relationship, their co-parenting, and how all of that evolves, and really just hits me in the heart, really good. Hannah Bonham Young knows how to write a book. Then we have we have this book. I don't know how to say that without like cursing, because I don't do that. But we have this book by Abby, St. Abby. And this book is basically a romance between a serial killer and a detective. And guess who the detective is looking for? The serial killer that he's dating. But he doesn't know that he's dating the serial killer. She knows that he's looking for her. But he does not know that the girl that he is looking for is sleeping in his bed. He doesn't know that. but I'm excited to read this. I think this is gonna be good. And you guys are probably like, this is a dictionary. It's 5 books in one, so it's really like 100 pages per book, which is like nothing. So I'm excited to read this. Next books out of the last stack, that's the word I'm looking for. We have Ruthless Vows by Rebecca Ross. I can't really tell you much about this book because it is the second book in the duology, but I did give this a 4.75 stars, I think. It was really cute. Not cute is not the right word. It was a good book. It was beautifully written. I loved it. I know a lot of people did not like this, but I really liked this. Basically, in the first book, we're following Roman and Iris while they are in the middle of this war. They are trying to figure out their romance and also trying to stay alive, because when you're where the middle of a war is happening, staying alive is quite crucial. So yeah, this is a really good book. I can't tell you anything that happens in it, but I can tell you it was good. Don't expect so much romance. It is a fantasy. This book in particular, the first book was definitely a romance with drips of fantasy. This one is a fantasy with drips of romance. Do not be expecting a lot of romance in this one, because you're not going to get it. That's all I gotta say. That's all I gotta say. Then I have Almond by Wan Pyeong-shun. This book is about a kid. He has alexithymia, which makes it hard for him to like experience emotions like anger, sadness, happiness, stuff like that. And it makes it difficult for him to kind of, he's a teenager, so it makes it hard for him to make friends or kind of forge these relationships that people have, because he can't, it's very hard for him to feel the emotions that everybody else feels. So he lives with his mom and his grandmother, and they like protect him from the world, and they end up passing away because there was this violent act of like there's this violent crime that was committed, and they were unfortunately victims of that crime. And so he loses the two people who care for him the most and have protected him, and so now he has to live this life without them and has to navigate this life without them. And he ends up meeting this teen. His name is Gon, and he ends up becoming friends with them. They end up forming this relationship, and then something happens to Gon, and Yeonjae, which is his name, he has to kind of step out of his comfort zone and be this hero in his story so that he can save his friend. So yeah, I think this is going to make me quite sad, but we'll see. I've been trying to find more books by authors that are in minority groups like Latino, Asian, and Black authors. So yeah. Next we have Ander and Santi Were Here by Johnny Garza Villa. This book follows Ander and Santi. I don't know who's who, but Ander is, I think it's Ander. Ander is going to college for art, and I think it's art, and his parents are they I think they're non-binary. Yeah, it's saying they. Ander Lopez. It's the place that has binary, and as they get ready to leave for art school, yeah, they. So they are going to art school, and their parents kind of want them to not become complacent while they're taking this gap year before they go to art school. So they fire him. Yeah, they're like, you're out. So they fire him, and the new waiter that comes is Santiago, and they end up having a romance. But then ice comes for Santiago, I think, and Ander has found a home in Santiago, and now he has to kind of, it's them against the world. So yeah, that's this book. Last stack, we have This Time It's Real by Anne Leong. This book is basically about this girl. She says that she's in a relationship for an application for an internship, and she gets the internship, but the problem is she's not in a relationship. She's never been in a relationship. She's never even been in love. So now she has to pretend like she has a boyfriend. So there's this guy in her class that is a famous actor. Or is he famous? He is famous. He's a famous actor, and he's basically like, I'll be your fake boyfriend if you help me write my college applications. So she's like, sure. And then things start to feel a little too real as they're fake dating. So yeah, that's that. We have The Name Drop by Susan Lee, and I've read Soulmates by her. I think I gave it a 4-star, maybe. I really liked it though. Oh, it was so cute. So I have The Name Drop, and this is basically like 2 people are going to New York. This guy is going to New York because he is going to be the heir. He's going to inherit this company from his father, and he goes because he has to do like some training or whatever. She's going for an internship, and his name is, what is his name? Elijah, and then the girl's name is Jessica, but they have the same Korean name. So when they go to New York for their respective obligations, they get mixed up. So he ends up going for the internship, and she ends up being like treated like she's the next CEO of this company. And they end up not telling anyone that there was a mistake, because he wants to live like a regular summer. He wants to not be under all of this scrutiny, and he doesn't want to deal with the CEO because he does not want this company. And Jessica ends up continuing to be, like, after they realize this happened, she continues to pretend like she is going to be the CEO because she wants to make these connections for whatever she wants to do later in her life. So yeah, I don't know what happens. It's a romance, so I'm assuming they're gonna get together, but we'll see. So there's that. Next, we have Imogen, obviously, by Becky Albertalli. This book I bought solely because I have What If It's Us and Here's to Us, because I need to see if I like her writing before I read those books. So I have this so I can determine if I like her writing. I'm going to read them whether I like her writing or not. It's just, I'd like to dip my toes in the pool first before I decide, so that I'm a little bit used to it. So yeah, this book, I think it's a coming of age, just trying to figure out if like she's figuring out her sexuality, stuff like that. I think that's pretty much it with that book. Next, we have a book that I'm so excited to read. It is on my April TBR, which is almost finished. April's almost finished. And so we have Snow Globe by Sun Young Park. This is a fantasy, dystopian, sci-fi, whatever you want to call it. Basically, this book takes place, does it take place in Korea? I don't know. It takes place on this frozen wasteland, and they don't have any power or anything. And then there's this snow globe, and inside the snow globe, it's like this city, and the city has power, and the people working like outside of the snow globe is basically working to give this snow globe power. And they have one channel that they can watch, which is a 24-hour live stream of what is happening inside the snow globe. And everybody wants to be in the snow globe because they think they have more opportunities. And there's this one lady who really wants to be in the snow globe, and she watches this one stream, and it's called Go Hetty, which follows Hetty, one of the people in the globe. And I think, does Hetty end up dying? Her name is Choban, by the way. And Go Hetty ends up dying, and Chobam has then been chosen to take her place in the snow globe, and that's when Chobam realizes, oh, this is not what I thought it was. So yeah, that's this book. I'm so excited to read it. Also, can I show you like these end pages? Beautiful. And that's not even the best part. It's really not even the best part. Look at this. Like, I think I might end up putting this on my shelf with like out the dish jacket, because that is so freaking beautiful. And as you can see, like inside the snow globe, it's like a city, and then like that's outside the snow globe. Oh my gosh, it's so pretty. And this is gonna be a duology, and I'm gonna buy the second one whenever that comes out. But this is a translated book, so it did take a while. Like this was published in like 2020, I want to say, like a while ago. Yeah, this was published in 2020, but it didn't get released. It didn't get translated and released in the United States until 2024, like January. So I know it's going to be a long time before I even get the second book, but when it comes out, I'll be getting it. Then I have The Woman in Me by Britney Spears. This book I have been wanting for a long time. I just didn't get it because I was on campus and I was like, I don't have room for that. So I didn't get it until like, when did I get this? I recently got this, like a couple weeks ago, recently. So yeah, this is about Britney Spears. Everybody knows about Britney Spears. And this is basically just telling her side of the story, what happened in her life from her perspective. And yeah, I'm very interested in her story and what happened to her, and to hear everything about all of that. So yeah, there's that. Then we're now getting into Book of the Month books, which are the last books of this haul. We have Butcher and Blackbird by Bryn Weaver. This book is a rom-com. I think it's supposed to be between serial killers. So it's a romance between serial killers. They have this competition going on of who can kill the most serial killers. And yeah, that's pretty much all I know about this. So a lot of people say that this is gory, or like it's like really graphic or whatever. But I also read Stephen King. So I don't know if it's really going to bother me as much as it bothers other people. I don't know. We'll see. So there's that. I then have Final Girls by Riley Sager. We all know that I love anything that this man writes. I have given all of his books at least a 4.5. So yeah, there's this. I don't know anything about this book. I'm not going to look at what this book is about because I go into his books blind. But yeah, Final Girls by Riley Sager. I also have Darling Girls by Sally Hepworth. I have another book by her called The Soulmate, which I haven't read yet, but I do have that. And then this book reminded me of a movie trailer that I saw. I forgot what it was called, but it reminded me of that. So I have this, Darling Girls by Sally Hepworth. I think like someone goes missing, like a body is found in their like childhood home, and they're then like suspects or witnesses or something. But yeah, there's that. Then we have Annie Bot by Sierra Greer. My mom actually convinced me to get this book. It's about a robot. It's really short. It's about a robot who is becoming more human as she goes on. And this robot was made to be like this girlfriend, like the perfect girlfriend for this man, and she's slowly becoming more human, and it gives me very much Barbie vibes. It gives me Barbie vibes because if you have watched the Barbie movie, at the end of the movie she becomes human, and this is giving me Barbie vibes. So we'll see. I then have The Reappearance of Rachel Price, which I actually just got another copy of because apparently there's a misprint in here. I don't know where. I haven't went out, like it's in my mailbox right now and I haven't gotten it yet. But yeah, The Reappearance of Rachel Price is basically like this girl's mom goes missing and then she ends up coming back. I have no idea. I like nothing else I know about this book. But yeah, she's a little bit of a thick one, not gonna lie. Then we have Ready or Not by Cara Stone. Every time I see this book, but it reminds me of Ready or Not by Bridget Mendler. And if you guys know that song, I love you because I still listen to that song all the time. It's such a good song. But yeah, Ready or Not by Cara Stone. This is also accidental pregnancy, and I also know that whenever I read this book, I'm going to be comparing it to Out on a Limb because that book was just so good. But yeah, we have Ready or Not. I know she ends up becoming pregnant and her best friend's brother steps up, even though he's not the dad. He steps up and helps her. So yeah. Next we have The Fury by Alex McLadies. I have another book by him, The Stellar Patient, which everyone has talked so good about. But I haven't read it yet. Wait a second. I haven't read it yet, but I do have this book, and I'm excited to read it. I don't know what it's about. Couldn't tell you a thing. Then we're on the last 2 books, guys. This is crazy. I don't know how long this video was because I did it in 2 parts, but I have to edit this and post it by tonight. We'll see. We have Dark Matter by Blake Crouch. This book I saw Ashlyn and Ian read, and they loved this book, so I really want to read it. I don't remember what they were saying about the book, but I know they were saying really good things about it, and it intrigued me enough to buy the book, so here it is. Then last book I have is Listen for the Lie by Amy Tinatera, and this is basically about this girl ends up, like, there was these 2 girls. They were the stars of their, the golden girls of their little Texas town, I think it was. Their little Texas town. And then something happens as she is seen walking down the road covered in her best friend's blood. And so she ends up moving away. I think she moves to California, and to try and get away from everything that happened. But this podcast, I think it's called Listen for the Lie, ends up covering this problem, like this crime, as their 2nd season. And then she then has to go back. I don't know if she goes on the podcast, but she returns to the place she vowed to never step foot in again to solve her friend's murder, even if she is the one who did it. So yeah, I saw this and I was immediately like, yes, you are speaking my language. So yeah, those are all of the books. I don't know how much there is, but we have a lot. I think there's at least 50 over here. But yeah, these are the books that I've gotten in this quarter of the year. Actually, it's more than a quarter because we're including April. But yeah, these are all the books that I've gotten these past 4 months. If you guys have read any of these books, please give me don't give me a summary. Don't do that. I don't know why I said that. Don't do that. Tell me if you guys have liked these books, if you think they're kind of like or if you love them and swear by them, and let me know which ones I should prioritize reading. So yeah, that's all for today. I'll see you guys next Tuesday. Bye.